Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby, you can be the director of the opponent's fate. Friends, grasshoppers, this is the Formless Podcast, episode 104.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Well, we just had a good class put on by you. Got to do some good drills, some good slip-in drills, like boxing drills.
Yeah.
With the pool noodles. Felt like I was a kid again.
You know, it's those are so much fun. I really enjoy using the pool noodle because you take the element of accidents and danger, like not completely out, but you definitely it allows you to focus on doing the drill, even with a partner that may not have as much control. Like if you get hit with a pool noodle, like you're not gonna get a black eye. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to worry about is this person gonna accidentally jack me in the face? Right. You can just work on the drill and not worry so much, you know. But it's fun too, and it adds a little element of silliness into it too, you know. Because if your partner's not paying attention, you can kind of give them a little whack. But yeah, it's good fun. They're a useful tool. It's not something that you would be like, oh, I could use this, you know, a pool noodle.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of like. I don't know. It's just two different worlds colliding. You know, you think of the pool noodle as like a pool toy. It's a fun thing. It's not like, oh, I'm going to use this.
Right.
And we use it and we're working on something, and it's just out of the norm.
Out of the norm. And having the one pool noodle and somebody holds it in their hand, right? And it's almost, they're stabbing it right at our face. And then we have to slip to the side, one side or the other.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when somebody, like when I was working with Tom, and Tom would stab it right at my face, I'd be like, Tom, try to hit me in the face. It's okay. Yeah. It's just a pool noodle.
And that's the other thing.
You whack each other in the pool with it.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. I can actually try and hit you and make you move as if I was throwing punches. Mm-hmm. And that's the other side of that. It's it's totally safe if you blow it and you're like, oh, I don't know which direction to move. Blah. You know?
Yep.
So it's really a useful tool. It's really fun.
It is. Yeah. And so, and I would just be like, come on, man, hit me. And then Coltrane, same thing. It's I'd be like, come on. And then at times I would step into it and try to hit the pool noodle myself. Just to be like, it's okay, you can hit me. All of a sudden, now, they're not afraid to whack each other in the pool with it.
Yeah, but
now in training,
now that we're
it's
not in the water. And they'll beam you with that thing. They'll swing for the fences and try and hit you with it.
And when it's in the water, it's spongy, it's heavy.
And it
whack.
Yeah.
With the water.
Absolutely.
So that was definitely a good drill.
You know, also it's super humbling. If you think you have something and you don't, and then you're getting whacked with it, you're like, oh, maybe I don't know what I thought I knew. You know, yeah. It's just it can be humbling if you're not ready for it.
Yeah. So and it's nice and. I was humbled too. Coltrane, he there was one time where I slipped, did the lead hand uppercut, and then went to for a sweep or a kick, and he's like, no, he's like, hey, you did that on my shin, you need to do it on the backside, on the meat, or go for the ankle, and so I was okay. Humbled, to have Coltrane, you know, he's getting up there, and he was 13 or 14.
He's 15.
So he's okay. Yeah, wow, there we go. I was just humbled again. He's 15.
I just realized that
he's 15, and he's an advanced red belt. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, yep, he knows what he's talking about, and he saw something that I did, and so I was like, humbling experience.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay. Shut up, kid. No, it's good fun. It's good fun. I really enjoy that stuff. We should do. I think that was one of the things I was thinking about doing, like a little video on that slip and uppercut.
Okay.
It could be a quick little tutorial, I guess, or a fun one to do. Be fun.
So you were talking about getting humble.
Yeah. So
kind of the theme for today.
Kind of the theme for today is just not so much. It is humbling, but like realizing that my ego was in the way instead of just like seeing what it was for what it was for. It was like, whoa, that's my ego. That's not me. So since, I don't know, for the last 5 or 6 years, I have been struggling. Like everything has just kind of been in flux. The amount of training I get to do, the job situation, just everything, the podcast, like just you name it. If it's in my table of my life, it's just in flux, right? Like and at a certain point, you kind of go from going, what's next? Like what crappy thing could happen next to I'm just going to have to accept everything the way it is and deal with it as it comes. Or I'm never going to leave my house again. Like, what are we going to do here, you know? And I realized on the drive home from work the other day, as I was like contemplating all of these things that's gone forth in my life, and just like whining to myself. You know how like you drive in your car and like I have conversations in my head with myself like, all the time. Be just like, oh, you know, I'm going to make this for dinner, or I'm going to do this after I get home, and blah, 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 you know, like kind of. But this particular moment, I was just bemoaning everything that had gone on. And I realized that that's weak. And like, I don't want to be in that mindset, and I don't want to be doing that. And I'm still doing it, right? Like, I know that that's not the thing to do. I know that that's the wrong thing to do. But I couldn't help it. I was just doing it anyway. And so I'm complaining about job situation, about life, about just everything going on. And I realized like, okay, that's not how things really are. Like I got a great job right now. My job that I got like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago is amazing. The people there are great. I have a view of the river. Like I have zero to complain about in the job situation.
That's cool.
It's amazing. Like it's so awesome. I'm not making the money I was at pre-COVID. I'm not in the same financial situation. Like things are tight, right? On top of that, I've added a whole bunch of expenses. School for Hunter now, he's going to college. School for my wife, who's going to college. I bought a car because my last car, the Dream Crusher, crushed my dreams, literally, you know?
Yeah.
So I've added like $500 worth of bills. Hunter got his driver's license, so that added another $100 a month to the insurance. You know, just like all of these things. And I'm just driving home and I'm whining to myself. Not crying, but just whining, being a whiner. And I'm like, you got to get out of this mindset. Like I'm literally having like multiple conversations with myself, and I'm not totally insane. I am crazy, but I'm not totally insane. So I'm having this one conversation and I'm just crying about life, you know, poor pitiful me kind of thing. And then the other side of me is like, you're being a wuss. You're literally being a wuss right now. Stop that. That mindset is no good, and it's not getting you anything positive out of this. So stop. And then I'm like, I have a third thought pops into my head, and it's like, that is your ego talking. Just shut up, quit crying, and life's good. You're alive. You're married. You got a beautiful wife. You got 3 healthy, happy children most of the time. You're like, just stop. And I was so, it was like, once I like had that thought in my head, I was like, whoa. I had to like kind of pull over for a second and just be like, Well, I actually pulled over to get the mail, but I pulled over and I'm like, that is exactly the thought I needed to have at that moment. It was like, I got real humble and just was like, life is good. And you're crying about stuff that happened in the past. Like, yeah, it happened. People have things that happen all the time. Worse than that, like I really have nothing to complain about. And just quit freaking crying, get to work, go do something positive. And it was very much like, it was a slap in the face, not literally, but it was like kind of okay, like you had your cry session. Now, like, get on with life, like go, so.
Wow. So do you think you reached that point where you had those two competing like
thoughts,
like like the two parts of you arguing, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then it probably reached a crescendo to where you kind of almost like exploded itself out, like it was the.
I was very thankful to like identify it.
Yes.
First of all.
Yeah.
Because most of the time
took a step back.
Yeah. Most of the time I don't identify it until I'm like really upset about whatever's bothering me, And this time around I was able to like go, you know what? That's not the kind of thought you want to have. Those aren't that's not doing anyone, least of all me, any benefit. And so I was able to kind of go, okay, enough of that. Like, let's change the mindset. Let's listen to some music, or let's, listen to something inspiring, or go exercise, or, have some other thought process other than, oh, life's hard. I don't like that. And I didn't want to do that. But, we always find ourselves in situations that, or having thoughts that you don't want to have sometimes. But it just was like really, like, I don't know if humble is the right word. I felt humbled. I felt like, okay, that's your ego talking, that the world owes you everything.
Yeah.
And the world owes you jack. Like, you're here, if there's something that you didn't get, or something happened to you that you didn't like, that's up to you to change it. Mm-hmm. And nobody else is going to change it for you. So quit crying, put your big boy pants on, and get to work,
so true. So true.
But yeah, it was like, I realized that I have an ego. I realized that like all of that was an ego thing. That whole head trip, that whole thought process was like my ego telling me like that shouldn't have happened to you. You shouldn't have let that happen. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you jackwagon. Like, stuff happens to everyone, and stuff happens that you don't have control over. I had control over some of it. I had control over a lot of it. I just didn't want to have that control over it, and I let things happen. Some of it I didn't, but without going too deep and personal into some of that stuff.
Come on, you got like some of it.
Dude, I just told you I had a whole 3 conversations in my head. I got pretty personal there. But
it's funny. It's if you wouldn't have gone through that conversation in your head, like those two competing, it's almost like you had the strong man, talking, and then like the victim wimp. Like that was like, as and then the third voice is, the victim, and then the strong man, and then the third voice comes in and says like, whoa, like this is like
slow your roll, dude.
Yeah, this is like your ego talking. Like this is
it. You know what it reminded me of? Now we're having this conversation. The old Warner Brothers cartoons were like the little devil version of the character, and then the angel, and then he's like looking back and forth, and they're both telling him to do something different.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny. I just like That just popped into my head as you were doing the little.
That's
thing.
what that's the classic joke is you have the angel and the demon on separate shoulders.
There's also the Native American story about the two wolves inside you, and the one you feed is the one that survives.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you realized you had an ego.
Yeah.
And was it like a deeper level that you realized it? Like,
well, I just realized that feeling that I had of the victim feeling wasn't coming from a genuine place. It wasn't a genuine thing. It was I think it was my ego trying to compensate for that frustration. I'm not frustrated because of my situation. I'm frustrated because life happened.
Yeah, right.
Instead of just being like, well, that sucked. What can I do? I can move on and keep trying, or I can, what's the alternative? You know what I mean? Like,
give up and die.
Point fingers, blame, cry, yell at someone, be mad at my kids for doing something dumb. Kids do dumb stuff all the time. It's not their fault that I'm having this bad attitude, and that's, yeah. And then I was just like, dude, you're just being a jackwagon. That's your ego that doesn't want to deal with real feelings or real things. Yeah, stuff's hard. Everybody's got a hard life, Everybody's got some things. So, yeah, I just was like, went and got the mail, got back in the car, turned on the radio to some decent tunes, and just was like, after that, like, I had a much better time.
Yeah.
The rest of the day went a lot better. But as I get older, I realize that, like, those feelings that I have come out in different ways, in ways that I don't want them to. And if I'm not careful, they'll hurt the people I care about. Like, I'll treat people not how I would want them to be treated. And so I have to really watch that. So it was a learning experience, I guess, or an eye-opening experience of just like, you better watch your ego because it'll get you if you don't.
Do you think it was? Do you think that ego, that part of you, was manifesting, like you were saying? It was manifesting. Do you think it was due to something that happened 6 months ago, a year ago, or like the last 5 or 6 years, like you said?
I don't know, but I just got into this train of thought where I was like, just thinking about different stuff and like, oh man, I always have to worry about this. It's summertime here and we always have fires. And so that kind of probably kicked it off because I got an alert. I have the Fire Watch app on my phone. So my phone, like we were in the grocery store yesterday and my phone was blowing up because there was a fire kind of near the house off of Pine Grove up there. And so like every 2 minutes, this thing's like, dinging, and
makes it sound like the end of the world.
Well, yeah, and so of course I'm checking it because my kids are home, and it's just me and my wife. Now we got neighbors, we got drivers home that could get in the car and leave, but they're still your children, and so like you're concerned. But it's like, do we need to stop what we're doing right now and go home to make sure everything's safe? It's one of those kinds of situations. And I think that was kind of the spur that started it. And so I'm like stressed about the fire. Not stressed, but like aware of it. And like, okay, I got to keep an eye on this, make sure the winds don't shift. And it comes back towards my house. And then it just like kind of snowballed from there, I think. And then next thing I know, I'm having this really crappy attitude and I'm just down in the dumps and I'm hating on everything for no apparent reason other than the fact that like I'm in this cycle of thought and like, ugh. And then I'm mad about that, right? Like
you're mad that you're in a cycle.
Yeah. And I'm like, at this point, you just need to put a diaper on and grab a bottle, you baby, So oops, sorry. Yeah, so I just had to like, I realized that like, first of all, that does me and anyone around me zero good. And if I'm not going to bring anything good to the table, like, you better fix it or figure out a way not to come to the table. And then like, I'm like, well, why am I doing this? I always have to know the why. And no matter what I'm doing, I got to know the why. Again, probably because of my ego.
Yeah.
Because I got to prove that I'm smart. Dang it, you know? But I just was like, that's not you. That's your ego. You
talking.
Dingus. You know? I literally talk to myself that way. I'll like, you dingus. But
that's funny. Yeah, that's
Have you had like experiences like that where you're like, why are you doing this?
Oh yeah, I had one the other day where it was just like one simple little thought that was like it was just like one simple stupid little thought that then snowballs into this like your life sucks and like you're thinking back 10 years and you're like, blah blah
why
blah.
Why did I do that?
Yeah. And so you're just it all gets caught up in this vortex and it just self-feeds itself. And then I realized, like, I was like, well, this happened, and then all of a sudden you make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah.
And then I came full circle and I had a similar realization. I was like, wait a minute. Like, all of a sudden this all started with this little thought of like, you know,
being upset about something.
I spilled my drink in my kitchen, and now all of a sudden the world is over because I'm thinking about something from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like something that happened 15 years ago caused me to spill my drink in my kitchen,
and you're all like super pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah. But the similar thing happened with me where I was just like, oh, turn on the music. Like when you're in the vehicle and just like let the music, everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah. Just take a step back and go, okay, is it really that bad?
Yeah,
it's not that bad. You know, it's funny. I guess it's sadistic. I don't know. I listen to a lot of Jocko podcasts, and most people that I tell that to tell me they find it depressing.
Jocko's the podcast?
Yeah, because they talk about some heavy stuff. And it's usually geared around veterans. And it's usually people that are like wounded or had a bunch of close friends die or something like that. But like what it makes me like think about is like, it's not that bad. Like you really don't have it that rough, you know? And I'm like, I'm generally in a happier mood after listening to it than depressed or like sad. I get, it's like I get grounded, you know. I see the world for what it is after that, kind of like, okay, some people have it rough, but some people have it rougher, and like, unless you're worried about somebody shooting you or, you know, stepping on an IED or getting ambushed or, you know, having some other tragic event happen, like, you're okay.
You're okay.
You know? Now I've literally ran from a forest fire. I mean, like, I've had tragic events happen and I know what tragedy is. But like that just kind of puts things back into perspective. It allows me to like put the collar on the weakling that is inside us all, you know. And be like, okay, you need to just stay back there. Go sit in the back seat. You're fine.
Go here. Let's put you in the back of the wambulance.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, keep going.
No. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
So like, okay. So like you had you pulled over, you were at the mailbox, right?
Yeah.
And you were in this mode. Like if you would have showed up to a party, right? And that, okay, if you
in that
mode,
attitude,
with that attitude, would another version of you that's in happy mode, like happy Dustin, like everything's okay, right? So let's say there's two Dustins that meet at a party.
Oh, there's multiple,
sure. Okay. Because the ego, multiple. So unhappy Dustin, who's mad at the world and thinks he's a victim, shows up to a party to have a good time, right?
Yeah.
And then happy Dustin, who's there for the party to have a good time, and they meet and they start talking. Would happy Dustin want to sit there and talk to unhappy Dustin?
No.
Or what would happy?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Honestly, I think it would turn the whole party into a bummer.
Okay,
most likely,
because unhappy Dustin is going to drag that.
Yeah, it just drags the whole mood down.
Down.
I've ruined many a mood.
Oh.
Yeah, in my own home, just because I got a crappy attitude. So when I'm aware of it, I try to be aware of that kind of situation and try to do stuff to fix it. But I'm not always aware of what I do, unfortunately.
Like, because today's July 5th, right? We had 4th of July yesterday. So today I'm going to a big pool party that I go to every year.
It's like a tradition.
It's a tradition. Yeah. I go to three. It's a guy.
4th of July is a big thing for Tyler.
Well, I mean, yeah. But it's a guy I was in the Army with, and him and his family, they throw 3 big parties every year. They throw one on the 4th of July, or right around the 4th of July. And that's a cool one. And then they always throw one right around Halloween. You dress up and they come, and they have a big, a pool and a big backyard, and they have a big pool house with a pool table and a bar inside in the pool house. They got a bar in the house and a bar in the pool house. And then they've got a big porch, and it's just nice. And they throw these big parties, and there's big food, and there's food and drink and people, and it's just a lot of fun. Pool toys, pool noodles. And so when I go to these parties now, I go to these parties, and I used to, quote unquote, I would see the unhappy Dustin, right? The unhappy Dustin. And then maybe you start talking to them, and they're my life sucks, dragging the mood down.
This thing's so hard.
And I would feed into that, and then you get into these heavy conversations at these parties, right?
That's supposed to be a celebration.
It's supposed to be a celebration, and so now I don't get caught up in people's. I don't even engage. Yeah, if I'm at a party like that, I'm there to have a good time, to lift my mood, my spirits up.
Yeah.
And if I am at a party and somebody starts talking about how bad their life is, or this went wrong, I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Hey, I got to go get a drink real quick. And I'll go get a drink, and I just won't go back to them. So I didn't lie. I didn't.
I just got thirsty.
Right then I decided I wanted a glass of water that I didn't have in my hand, or something, right? Oh, I'm going to go get some chips. And then I just won't go back to them, because I'm just I don't want to sit there and get dragged down, and it's interesting that you noticed that about your ego, right? That was your ego, because that by osmosis, if somebody was to interact with you when you have, or me or anybody, when somebody's in that mood, it's it leaches into you, and it leaches. It's contagious. It can leach in. Yeah, it can be contagious. Yeah. And so it's one of those things oh, I don't want to take that. And I will just, or sometimes with people, I'll just be like, well, you got to fix this in your life, and I'll just say stuff like that, and I'll kind of kill their mood. Yeah. Instead of them killing my happy mood, I'll just kill their unhappy mood, and just be like, I'm not giving into that. And so that's interesting.
That's a interesting thought. Yeah,
So now people are going to take my tactic. They're going to be like, if they want to eject out of a conversation, they're going to be like,
I'm getting chips.
Yeah, I need some chips right now. I'm feeling the need for some chips, and they won't go back. And you're not lying, because you're not saying,
as long as you get chips.
Yeah, as long as you get chips, you're not lying. I'm gonna go get some chips, and that's what you're gonna go do right in that moment. Oh, they don't have any more chips. Oh, I'm gonna get a cookie, or something like.
Yeah, no, I just actually, that's good. I like that.
So
like that tactic. I'm going to use that.
Yeah. Well, but it's just interesting. Yeah.
The other part of the whole ego trip thing was I realized that I'm an emotional being.
Right.
Like I have heavy emotions, and then so that like, like I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to be this stoic, man. And why am I feeling that way then? And then it's this whole like craziness of just. So I really like try and keep that in check.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well, I think it's the one positive aspect about that is that you have emotions.
Well, yeah, like you want to have emotions,
and then you're
like,
able to admit you have robot. Yeah,
but at the same time, like, do you want to just give into that all the time? Like,
right.
Oh, I'm feeling depressed. Oh, my life is like Charlie Brown. I can't kick the football. Lucy's mean to me. All this stuff. Like, if I personally, get on that train of thought, then I'm like always there.
Always there, yeah.
Which is like, how fun is that?
Then it becomes a habit.
It becomes a habit, and it's not fun. And like, so thankfully, sometimes I can identify it now when I'm on my game, when I've been doing things that are positive in my life. When I get the positive routines down, exercising, coming to class, doing all of those good, healthy habits, then I can identify it. But when I've been lazy and when I've been like, oh, I'm not gonna exercise today. I worked out extra hard yesterday. Or I'm just gonna sit here and watch another movie. That's when that stuff slips in. And then I'm like, well, you've been sitting on the couch like a slug for the last 4 hours, watching mobster movies like Goodfellas or The Godfather for the umpteenth time. Like, you can probably recite some of the scenes by heart. Why are you doing this again? Which, granted, to each their own. I love watching movies, but time and a place.
Time and a place.
Yeah. Like, you need to have those. You need to make sure those good habits are done too. Not trying to poo on anybody's hobbies, but
no.
But like, for me, that's when I notice that stuff creeps in. So when I haven't been on my game, when I haven't been doing all of the things that I should be doing, that I know I should be doing on a regular basis.
Interesting. And that's in another way kind of almost like victimizing yourself, just in a way, because you're just sitting there saying, well, I'm just going to sit here and watch another movie.
Yeah.
And then...
Exactly. Yes. And then...
like, I don't want to do my normal routine that I should be doing. Like...
And then what?
It's funny. One thing, I read a Stephen King quote that he said in one of his books. I don't know. I used to read a number of Stephen King books. But he said... He looked at like a 110 plug outlet that comes out of the wall, and he's like, man, so much of our lives come out of that 110 outlet. Music, movies, video games. I mean, you think about it. Hair dryers, power tools.
Oh, yeah.
So much of our lives come out of that 110 outlet that comes out of the wall. And it's and so in a way, like with movies too, like with me, like, I mean, especially being a filmmaker,
you can watch a lot of movies.
Oh, I used to be able to, and then I realized I'm like, what is this accomplishing? Like, and then I started to feel like, okay, I need to just watch one, and then like I need to go outside and
do something.
Well, yeah. But when you're always in that mindset of like, I've got to go outside and do something, that's almost then a reactionary, like, then it becomes busy work. Like maybe you just need to go outside and just be outside and look at the birds and the trees, or go sit in a chair and just be in a chair
and enjoy nature for what it is.
And enjoying nature for what it is. Like so many people they get so busy and they're always like, well, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And then busy work become like certain people I know that people just sometimes just don't know how to relax and just take time to relax. And that kind of goes back to like what you were talking about with feeling your emotions, because if people are always moving too much and doing things, that's a way that they deny their emotions. And they stuff them down, and they're like, well, I've got to accomplish this task. I've got to go mow the lawn again, or I've got to go find something to fix on the property, and it just becomes this way of stuffing emotions down.
And it's unbalanced. Yeah. There's a balance there. And it's so easy to get that off kilter. If you watch too many movies, then if you do too much, there's a fine delicate balance there.
Just like balancing your day, you've got to sleep 8 hours a day.
You should,
or whatever.
You're supposed to.
Let's just say 8. This is a recommended. 8 hours a day, and then you're probably going to be working the other 8 hours at your job. So then you've got another 8 hours to devote to yourself and your family. You would think.
If you're lucky. Sometimes it's less.
Right. No. Right.
Well, like for me tonight, I think it was 5 or 6 hours. So we went to 2 fireworks shows. Went on because we did the Anderson Explodes, which is the day before, so on the 3rd. That was awesome. That was great. We were at the fairgrounds. It took forever to get home. And then so I slept in because we didn't get home until I think I finally went to bed about 12:30, 1 o'clock. So my alarm went off at 4:30, and I just rolled over and turned that dude off. Woke up at like 8. And then 4th of July, we went to my work. The work threw a big party. It's literally like across the river from where the fireworks go. So where the roundhouse is in
Lake Redding Park.
Yeah. As you come on 44. So the bridge is across there. So just past that round house, as you go to the second bridge before you get like to the I-5 interchange, like you can look across and see the flagpole. My office is like right there.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So the lawn, it's perfect view of the fireworks. It's awesome.
Wow, that is cool.
Really cool.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, those of you that don't know,
you're fireworked out.
Yeah, I'm pretty much fireworked out. But Tom had a freaking blast. He loved it. If you get on Google Maps and look at the Sundial Bridge, it's a famous bridge in Redding that only tells time one day a year correctly. But you can kind of get an idea of where we're at and what we're talking about. That's just a little tidbit.
Fun factoid.
Yeah.
So question back to your were you done with that?
No, yeah.
With when you get into that mode, like, do you ever think that you get into that mode that it's almost like your ego's trying to talk to you and say something so like you get into the spiral.
Yeah.
That life sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think there's like in that memory or those memories, do you ever think there's like a lesson to be learned?
For me?
Yeah, for you. Yeah, just for you.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really put much thought into that.
I mean, like why, like you were saying, like why did those thoughts come up all of a sudden?
Yeah, and
are those on those are subconscious?
Generally, it's when I'm not busy enough.
Oh.
When I'm being lazy, when I'm not being my best or trying to be my best. On the flip side of that, it can be when it's too crazy. So balance. When I'm off balance, that's when things get ugly for me. Yeah. That's what I will say. When I'm off balance, one way or the other, that's when that happens. That's when the dark side says, "Okay, now we're gonna
go have our way with him."
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, it's like if too much water is bad for your body, but not enough water is bad for your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean,
there's a dichotomy.
Yeah.
Since I couldn't define it last time we talked about dichotomy.
Too much fatty food is terrible for you, but you got to have some.
Mm-hmm.
Your body has to have something of fats.
Yeah. Well, the right fats.
The right fats.
Yeah.
And so you can't have zero. You've got to have something.
Have some.
And so, anyways, your mind, your ego is just like, haha, all right, let's go. Time to strike.
Yeah, yeah. And on the other side of that, is there a good time to have an ego? Like, I can't really think of one.
Either you have no ego or you have an absolute ego. I don't know. I think you got to have. That's a good question.
I don't know. I'm not educated enough to know about that, I guess.
Email us in your thoughts.
Yeah.
Help us out with that one.
That's...
I guess then it begs the question, well, what is the ego?
Yeah, I think that's an existential
question.
I think that it's got to serve a purpose. It's got to have some sort of self-preservation. That's interesting. I've never really thought about that.
I've never thought about that either.
Huh.
That's a deep question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That ego thing is a trip, though. It's a trip. Because, like, we all know people that have an ego that's like the guy or the gal that's like, oh, I could do that. Or I've done that. Or I've, oh, you did it like this, but I can do it, I could show you how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, we all know people like that. And you can usually spot it like right off the bat, right? Like, oh my gosh, he's going to do it again. He's going to tell me how good he is at.
I think I got to go get some chips right now.
Yeah. But we can identify it in others, right?
Oh yeah.
Like it's like they might as well have a sign on their head that says like, I'm going to talk about myself and one up you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But like when we do it, do you realize that you're doing it until afterwards?
After the fact,
oh my God, I did that again.
I was talking about how cool I am in this aspect. Yeah.
It's so funny to see that in the kids. Like when you're teaching a kids class, you're like, oh, I'm faster. I can do that. Oh, I can kick way higher than you can, and you're like, all right, dude. Slow your roll,
Yeah.
You're 10, man.
Yeah. Oh, wait to see where it's going to be in 20 years.
Yeah. But like we all do it. Like everybody's done this before. It's so embarrassing when you realize like, oh my gosh, I'm getting in this huge ego battle with somebody else. Like for me, I'm like oh.
Yeah.
When I'm wise enough to correct it or catch it, I'm like, oh geez. It's like farting at the dinner table,
Yeah, that's egos, and my opinion is that when somebody has to talk themselves up or say something like that, they're really
it's a place of insecurity.
Oh yeah, they're deficient.
Yeah.
They're they're insecure. Yeah. They've got to hype themselves up. I watched over the last couple of days. It's over 3 sit-down periods. I finally watched Happy Gilmore again.
I love that movie.
Happy Gilmore. I hadn't seen it since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And but man, you talk about egos there. I mean, hit like Shooter McGavin.
Yeah. Well, and at a certain point, are they playing to the crowd or is it really like the ego massage?
Well, he was definitely the ego massage.
Yeah.
Probably playing to the crowd too. But even Happy, Happy Gilmore himself, he had that ego that he kept feeding, that anger ego.
Yeah.
That he kept feeding. And like, I watched it and I was like, you know, it's funny. It's a funny character, and the Shooter McGavin character is funny.
Hilarious.
But like, we're supposed to identify with the hero of a film. That's like,
you identify with the hero of the story.
You identify with Luke Skywalker. You identify with Indiana Jones. You identify with James Bond.
And
right?
Happy Gilmore.
You identify with Happy Gilmore. But like, I'm like wondering, like, I kind of saw parts of like a little bit of myself in him, and I'm like, did I watch that movie as a kid?
And like, model
just a little bit, like when he gets mad and he goes, come on, like do that. Did I model that? Like just a little bit? Did I watch it? Because I remember watching that movie maybe one time, maybe twice as a kid. Like I don't remember. I remember watching it, but just I don't remember it.
Yeah.
And when it was like rewatching it again, I had never seen it before. But I was like, ooh, like, did I model his like ego just a little bit? And like maybe when something doesn't go right as a kid and you just, come on.
Freak out,
yeah. And it was just, it's really something I've watched in movies and seen it in video games and music artists and people we just look at, like the way people portray themselves and or the character is portrayed on screen is so powerful, and like to like a 5-year-old, they don't know any better. And so like,
what are they absorbing?
Like it's like, just like on a purely comedic level, it's funny to see that on screen. But like what are the things that are happening underneath all that, like on a kid, like
I'm going to reevaluate what my children watch. That's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like for example, James Bond. Okay, so I grew up watching James Bond. Love the James Bond movies. They're fun. But James Bond has a definite thing for every movie he's got. He's with
the girl.
4 or 5 different girls in every film.
He smokes like a chimney. He drinks like an alcoholic.
Yep. And it's like one of those things where you're like,
maybe not the best life choices.
Yeah, like I mean, in real life, that guy would be he would be a walking medical disaster. There was an article
I read a number of years ago about the character of James Bond, who was actually like I guess the author mirrored a lot of like what himself in some ways wanted to be. But he was a smoker and a heavy drinker and stuff, I guess. But anyway, the guy was like, I don't know if he went to a medical professional or if he just like, he basically like chronicled all of James Bond's cigarette habits and drinking habits and like womanizing, and was like, okay, he's got X amount of sexual partners. He's had like 2 packs of smokes just in this movie. He's had like X amount of drinks, and he like went through all of the like Sean Connery era movies. Or was that the first James Bond?
Sean Connery.
Okay, yeah.
Then Roger Moore.
Yeah, but like chronically,
Sean Connery, and then there was one movie with another guy.
There's no way this guy could run down the street, let alone like 2 blocks, And at this point, he'd be so drunk he couldn't drive a car. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, he would be a walking medical disaster. And you just kind of like look at it, and it's like, it's funny to see all these things like on screen, but like, is it really? Well, it's good to, because then are you taking part of that and making that part of your ego?
Yeah.
I mean, I think another one that I realized, like Indiana Jones. Okay, Indiana Jones.
You carry a bullwhip?
Yeah, yeah, right. Isn't it a lion's whip? Like it's a lion whip, right? And so, well, at least he got it in that train car with the lion whip. But like, he is, when you kind of like look at it, he's this, a lot of times he's somebody, at least in a couple of the movies, he takes things from people that have legitimately got them, right? Like so Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, at the beginning, those guys are digging up that treasure, and they found that treasure, right? And it's debatable. Okay, were they trespassing? Do they have a permit to dig? Whatever. Okay, so we talk about that. But then they found this artifact, and then then he loses the artifact to the bad guys, and then years later he goes and steals it back, and he's like, "Well, that belongs in a museum," and it's like. That's like
that's debatable.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like what, like socialism or whatever, like communism. Like we're just gonna take something from you and put it like so everyone can enjoy it, right? Like, and that's debatable, right? And that's just my opinion. Holy cow! Let's see how many emails I get for this.
No,
hey, I went as Indiana Jones for Halloween so many times as a kid. I still watch those movies, but it's just something I've realized as I've gotten older.
Well, it's like. Who does that actually belong to? The guy who found it or the people that lost it there?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the zoo, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love nature. I love animals. I love to eat them. I love to see them. But, like, I go to the zoo, I see animals I'd never get the opportunity to see anywhere else. Like, I don't have the funds to fly to, like, Madagascar and see what animals Madagascar has. But if I go to a zoo, I could see those animals in person and not on a screen, not on paper. Like, I could literally see this thing eating and breathing and doing its thing.
In front of you.
But
can be studied.
Yeah. It's really cool. I'm always awed by it. Like, oh, wow, this is really cool. But at the same time, I have this other feeling of like, that animal's wild. And somebody trapped it and put it in this cage. Like that's not right. You know? It's like, I feel...
For the animal?
For the animal, in a way. Like, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Like, I wouldn't want to be put in a cage and have people stare at me and go, oh, look, do a trick. You know, here, feed it something, you know? Like, how crappy would that be? That's a terrible life.
I don't know. They get fed pretty well, though.
They do.
They're pretty happy,
well, and they don't have to worry about predators. But at the same time, it's like that animal wasn't put here to be gawked at,
right,
by a bunch of people like drinking soda and eating popcorn, walking around a zoo. You know. So I'm kind of torn. Like, I want to go see the animals because they're beautiful and amazing creatures. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh, man.
Yeah,
I'd
feel
rather,
for them. Yeah.
If I had the means, I'd go on a safari and, like, check them out in their habitat, you know.
A lot of those animals in their habitat would get eaten.
Or eat you.
Or eat you.
Yeah. So I'm thankful for the opportunity. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh, man, it's kind of a bummer. Yeah, you know.
I know, I agree.
But yeah, like, at what point is it theft? You know? Like, around here, if you do a construction project, like big construction projects, you always have to have, like, the Native American local tribes there. My dad experienced this when he worked for the city. They did this expansion on a wastewater treatment plant. And they had tribal members from the local Indian tribe. And if they found anything, like, construction stopped because that's their ancestry. And so they
was it from their
tribe.
Was that like formerly their tribe land or something?
Yeah. And so, like, they had to make sure that they could pull if they found something. I don't recall if they did, but there were people there, like, just hanging out, watching construction, watching them excavate dirt and everything. And it was like, well, that makes sense, I guess. Like, that's your family, that's your history. You want the opportunity to take that and do with it what you will.
If they found, like, a bone or something,
or artifacts or, like, tools or
I mean, it could have been a settler too.
Yeah.
It could have been anybody.
Well, and yeah, then you get the whole existential question of like, who does it really belong to?
Right. Yeah.
But that the Indiana Jones thing, that always brought up a like interesting thought. Like where he's like, that belongs in a museum, and it's like, well, wait a minute, doesn't it belong to the people who left it there,
found it, like
or who found it?
Yeah.
Like I think you can make an argument
either way. You could, yeah.
You can make Indiana Jones argument. Yeah, that belongs in a museum for sure. You can make it in the finders keepers argument for sure, and then like. What about the people that live there, that grew up there, that have, family history going back generations and generations? Doesn't that maybe belong to them too? Like when they're in Egypt and he goes into the Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they're looking for the
staff of, or they got the staff of Ra and they're looking for the room, the Ark of the Covenant.
I'm sure there's some Egyptians there that could be like, hey, that's like my great grandfather's uncle's brother's dog. Like we can make an argument for that too,
Yeah, that's, who knows how far back
get enough lawyers involved and you can make an argument out of anything.
Yeah. No, but back to your ego thing, like, I mean, I guess that's just a conversation to continue in the future.
I think I'm going to have that conversation with somebody for a long time.
You're going to get in the car, be driving home, and it's going to be like, oh.
Yeah.
You should have said this. No, you should have said this. You should have said this. No, this.
That usually rears its ugly head when I go, oh, you didn't work out this morning, or you didn't write in the journal, or you didn't treat your wife the way you should have, or you didn't, it's always like, hey, buddy, you didn't do this one thing that you really should have done that you know better about. And then it just starts the circle down the drain, cycle.
Well,
on that cheery note. Oh, life is good.
Life is
good. I really have no complaints.
Yeah, I think we better get some potato chips.
Need something to drink.
And that to kind of put the topper on that. That's not that's I when I use that or just you eject yourself out of a conversation, right? You eject yourself out or an interaction or whatever. I constantly think about myself. Well, is that me running away, or is that me running scared, or is that me like self-preservation, or is that me? It's a lot of times it's how I feel when I walk away. Like if I just don't like a subject people are talking about at a fun party, I'll just like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna go get some food, and I'll just go and I'll just like totally leave that conversation there. And I'm like, somehow I've just done it enough to where now I like leave that conversation and I'm like fully present as I'm loading up more potato chips onto my plate. and I don't even remember that conversation anymore. Like I've just like totally detached from that type of thing. And just because out of a desire of not wanting to,
be bummed out.
Well, just let that be leached onto me or.
Well, and I think it all depends on who it comes from.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if it's an acquaintance that you see once a year,
you can do that.
Yeah. If it's like a close personal friend or like your mom or something, and you're like, okay, I need to actually, this person needs this emotional support. Yeah. Fine line. Balance. All the good things in life.
Well,
think we're good?
I think we're good.
We're good. Friends, thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with the ego trip. And reach out. We have a Facebook group called The Formless Pod, Instagram page as well called The Formless Pod, an X account, YouTube. We have a website, formlesspod.com, with merch and news on there occasionally. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to add. Let's go.